So now that we had lovely speakers from both the sides, tech side, and also somebody who is doctor who has been helping all of us living a quality life, and we have read about and understood how data security is important. I think this is a time where I'm going to shoot some questions in front of our two speakers and quickly try to gauge what they have to share. So I'll start with my question because I shared something around digital healthcare card, and also I shared something what India has been doing and what Narendra Modi is trying to come up with telehealth medicine applications, and we have Ayushman Bharat program. There is a lot of things going on, and government is certainly requesting for companies like GeekyAnts, startup companies to come forward, take, share the load, and do something great and show the entire world that India is not only into technology, but yes, we can make life of our people very, simple, and of course, give a quality healthcare to all these citizens. So, moving on around that, my first question is going to be, I think Amit, you can take that question, and then I'll pass it on to Gaurav to you. Uh, so my first question is, are we ready to take up digital healthcare challenges? And what are the gaps currently in the ecosystem that you see as the tech into healthcare?
Thanks, Pramada. Thanks for shooting up a question first to me and then let Gaurav answer it again. I'll share my thoughts about it. Yes, we are now the what we have seen it, right? The pandemic and the other circumstances, right? It is actually forcing, and it's a global trend where we see that the we have to build the ecosystem which is digitally, which is ready to take the digital healthcare systems, accept the digital health informations, right, and share the information, put the information on the fingertips, right. So this is a trend, and it's going to happen. Today maybe there are some restrictions are holding back from certain classical or older thoughts, but it's going to happen. It's going to change. We have seen it. We have seen the fintech, how it has changed the digital currency. It has become a trend, right? So it is going to be it's going to be there in the system. It's going to be a practice and accepted globally. So I'm quite positive about it and encouraged about it, and I see the excitement around the world there because it helps. It makes the life easy. It makes the information easy. Right? It makes the process easy, right?
Sure.
So I see this is going to happen for sure.
Yes. So, Amit, adding to your what you said, I think all of us are ready to take up that challenge,
Yes.
and we are there. Gaurav, over to you. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Amit has rightly pointed out that we are on a path where we are inculcating the healthcare industry and moving towards that, and uh, solving a lot of problems at the same time. Like one of the major challenge which we saw in the pandemic was like network issues and the Zoom meeting, right, and which has led to a lot of online consultancy has started, right. And this is a push towards the digital healthcare, and this is what we needed, right. Now I don't have to sit in, like if somebody is ill in my house, right, and I have to initially what we used to like call the ambulance and they used to come and then pick up, right. But right now I can just go on digitally and chat a video call with the doctor or consult with him, right. And it's just 5 minutes task for me rather than like 30 minutes waiting for the ambulance and coming in and then going to the hospital. So the healthcare, the digital transformation has actually speed up the way the consultancy has been. Plus also it there are like a couple of challenges also from the rural side, like since in the tier one we are able to access this digital things frequently, like, but if you go to the rural area there are still the issue of the network, right. The people don't have the smartphone, so those are also the road blockers which I see, which we need to work towards. We have to build more smartphones which are very handy and which can support this digital transformation which we are doing at GeekyAnts, right? So those things has to be pushed by the government. I think they are already taking a lot of measures in bringing cheaper smartphones which are capable with all the in like today's technology, edge tech, cutting edge technologies like video calls and everything. So there's a mix and match of the things, but I believe that we are heading towards the right direction where digital healthcare is been booming and people are slowly adapting them, and people are also more and more becoming addicted to the online consultancy, right? Rather than and plus another point which I feel personally is that with online content you can see the reviews of the doctor, so you can get a trust factor right in there itself by seeing the ratings and the reviews which the other patients or the people have shared. So those are the plus points which I feel which the healthcare is bringing in with the digital transformation.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, I believe that if you look at the consumer of the data or the consumer of the smart devices, right, they are equally available in they present in the tier B, C, and D cities also. Right now, the mobile usage is not a new thing, or it's not high tech. It's everyone is having a WhatsApp. Everyone is making a voice calls, video calls, and all. So they are well aware of it. And I see there's a government push where apart from the basic necessity, the internet is also becoming a basic necessity of your life, and they are reaching out with the digital the connectivity with every village and town where you will have the internet connectivity. And so once we have that kind of reach or networks, right, which we see it's there now, it's growing well, right? This will be again become a acceptance to do the telemedicine and consulting with the remote areas and all, right? We have seen during pandemic, right, where the teachers sitting in some metro cities, he is taking a classes of the schools which is in villages basically, right, where it is difficult to reach also, but they are all doing it remotely. And so, right, so the network makes the life easy, and the quality for the it affect or it impacts the villages also where these facilities can be reached, right? Even we see today, right, in our area, in our era, was when we were preparing for the competitive exams and all, right, we have to be in there certain cities, to attend this, right, to get prepared for it. But now we see that it's everything remote. You need not to travel, you need not to visit, you need only a smart device, and everyone has internet at home, right? Things has become accessible, things has become cheap, education has become cheap, right? The cost of the preparation at our time and now, it's basically it's not changed, actually it has come down, what I see, right? So it has actually impacted a lot, it has reduced the cost, right? Same thing I see it is going to happen for the medical industry also, where we see the cost of treatment will go down, facility will become better, right? Because the burden on the shoulder, what we right now we have it on our doctors and all healthcare providers, right? It's too much, right? So once we see the automations and things like this which is coming up, health analytics and all, right, it's going to reduce the burden from them, right? The facility will be available for the larger audience, for the larger patients, right? So it would help, it's going to help a lot to the patients, and the better treatment will be in the reach to the common man people also.
Sure, sure. I think, yeah, I will take a little diversion. I would quickly ask Gaurav, since you have been working in healthcare, what is the solution you have built at Geeky Ants that has certainly you have seen yourself that it has reduced the healthcare cost and the entire operations, day-to-day operation of a patient with your solutions that you have built at Geeky Ants? Can you quickly throw some light on this?
Yeah, sure, Pramada. So at GeekyAnts, we've been trying to build a geek care solution, which we call it. Like it's basically a telemedical application where we are trying to bridge the communication gap between the doctor and the patient, so that end user can sign up quickly within few couple of steps, right? With mostly using Google sign up or phone number, and they will be able to consult and share their issues with the doctors, right? And there we have a video call feature, audio call feature, so they can easily talk to them, and they are like even if they are not comfortable in sharing their voice or video, then they can even chat and share the files with the doctor. right? So there are various aspects we have considered when building this geek care solution, which is bridging the gap of communication plus bridging the way the people used to trust the doctors. Like if you go to any like hometown, like the people who are into the healthcare or doctors, they will be getting more and more customers. But with this tele geek care, we are giving a lot of opportunity to the individual doctors or consultants who is running their own clinics, right? They can also sign up to this geek care, and they can showcase they are qualified, because we show the complete profile of the doctor, what is their degree, what all they have achieved so far, what is their qualification, right? What are they specialized in, what are the practices which they've been following for so many years, reviews and background check happen. So there are a lot of things which the geek care provides, and this will eventually bridge the gap which and boost the healthcare industry.
Sure, the apps that you are building are certainly scalable, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Could you talk about a little bit of technology preference that you have taken to build those apps?
Yes, sure. So the tech side of it, like we are mostly going with the infrastructure like AWS, where we will be hosting our most of the components will be coming from AWS, and also to make the backend development super fast, super scalar, we will be using things like Hasula and Node.js, right? So that Node.js basically and uh, is known for its input output efficiency, right? So the number of requests which will be coming in can Node.js can easily handle. So this system which we are building is for can be easily be used by millions of users at the same time. And we will be using a lot of things like Docker, Kubernetes for the deployment purposes, but plus we will be using Redis cache to make sure that the API response is fast enough, in like we are sending the response within milliseconds, right? And on the front end side, we are using Next.js, so that there has a lot of inbuilt capability which the server side props rendering of the React brings in. Plus we can also have a reverse proxy which in turn help us with the security aspect of the application, because nobody will be knowing like to which port we will be again talking to our backend. So these all things, like as I mentioned in our in my HIPAA compliance, like in today's talk, like the security aspect is already being considered, and where we have a lot of one single API gateway who will be talking to the front end application, and the API gateway will be having deployment in the Kubernetes cluster, and each cluster will be having different pods. Right. So there are a lot of different pieces of the technology we are bringing together into this GeekyAnts platform, and try to make it as scalable as possible and as secure as possible, right? So that the privacy policy of the users has to be taken at most care in GeekyAnts. That's the vision from our
Yeah. What I could gauge, Gaurav, is yes, we are ready for the challenge,
yeah.
certainly. Yes. Now, my next question to probably Amit, you can take up. Uh, as I spoke initially, that Narendra Modi had come up with one nation, one health card. And I did share my thoughts that this healthcare ecosystem is still very, very complicated because we have different stakeholders. We have patients, providers, pharmacists, labs, and there are different touch points, right? How these different stakeholders come to a one platform is actually very complicated, and that's where if government is trying to do something, coming up with a national health card, uh, see, implementation of Aadhaar card was seamless if I have to compare with implementation of a health card. But do you think uh, is this going to be very easy for the government to take up, or what are the challenges government is going to face?
I think our government has already an experience, to run such programs on the large scale, right? Let it be a PAN card or Aadhaar card, or the pandemic, the dosage for the. So we have seen that government is able to successfully, run these programs, and definitely yes, bringing all the touch points to the common platform, right? To submit the data, to share the data, right? So that the profile, the medical or the healthcare profile of a person can be built over the period of time. And it's going to be because Right now, either the data is lying dead with these touch points, because once it is used, nobody is caring about it, or these data is there with the insurance companies where you claim your expenses, right? Hospitalizations and all. But other than that, there is no use of the data right now. But yes, this data is actually nothing but a gold mine, which can be, mined to build your profile, your health profile, and that's every citizen's rights to, carry his own profile, right? And so that he can claim or he can utilize his data, right? So to get the better medical facilities from it. So I'm sure with the vision of our prime minister, yeah, it's going to be again of the primary or the basic right of the person, where he can carry his own medical history, medical data along with him, right? In the form of card, basically. And these cards may be linked together with the Aadhaar card, and certain security aspects can be built on top of it, right? So before we share data with somebody, I'm confident this is going to happen, because we have seen this trend is happening globally, and it is a need in our country for sure, right? Because
Yes.
this reduces a lot, and this reduces the burden from the healthcare industry a lot. It helps to the citizens also, so to get the better treatment at the cost effective price, right? So I'm confident about it. It's going to happen for sure.
Yes. Certainly, Amit. I think yes, and I think companies like startup companies like GeekyAnts, we should certainly take part and register ourselves and see how we can contribute to this cause.
Yes, I think
So,
it's everyone's responsibility, right? From the healthcare plus the IT sectors, right? So we should contribute towards a good cause. Basically. So I believe that it's our responsibility also equally to contribute and participate as much as possible.
okay, Gaurav, again the same on the same lines, but I know that you have been building apps for clients, but you treat yourself as a government, and you have been given this chance to implement the entire process, make it digital. So, do you think is it an easy task, or it's going to take little much more time to mature?
Definitely it takes some time. It takes time in brainstorming how you could structure the data for 138 crore people, because that's a number at that scale we work in India, right? So we have to make sure that our infrastructure is able to suit that number of traffic, right? And the major challenge which I see is that right now every organization or every hospital is maintaining their own data, and they have their own structure in maintaining the database, right? And to bring into at the national level, we need to make sure that the data which is there at the hospital are also getting synced with other hospital data, right? The synchronization process will be a challenging job from my perspective, from the technical perspective, what I can see, right? And because if you go from one state to another, the policy changes, the regulations changes, right? And to bring at the national level, the challenges will be to sync, and how and at the same time how to scale also, because we are a population of 108 crore people. So even if there's a 1 MB 1 KB file, you can imagine like how much data we are talking about, right? The records, health records which we are generating at every day. So the government mostly will be focusing more of the infrastructure layer, like how to scale and how to bring all the uh, hospitals and organization at one place without losing track of anything, right? Existing system should work. On top of that, the new platform should come into picture, so that ease of transaction will come only when there's a smooth data syncing process happening between the organizations, right? And that's where standard protocol has to be set up by the government, like and rules has to be set up that you have to transform your data in a particular format and then sync to our databases, right? The national databases. So those are the things which I see, from my point of view, the government must be doing at their end, right? And that will take some time and brainstorming, uh, Pramada. Without that, if they just do it, then I know it's gonna collapse. So government will take some time to brainstorm, to architect the things, and then once that is done, then I think it will be very easy to merge all of the hospital data and to bring and achieve this health one ID card for each individual. And to be honest, I've been looking forward, because whenever I do a medical checkup from one city to another, they ask my health records, and I have to bring all my like physical copies. I have to bring, right? I'm just looking for that I can scan a QR code onto a government or the hospital, and I can share the my private files to them, right? That's what I'm looking forward with the government as well, and I believe they will be able to achieve, and we will be able to contribute in that as well.
Yes. Government has announced a budget of 500 crores, and there are I think more than 200 companies already registered working towards this cause. And we are also indirectly working with couple of companies where we are trying to eradicate a couple of diseases. How to eradicate, how to communicate, how do we ensure that medicines are reached to the people at the right time with the use of technology. And yes, I think if all of us have our own health card, we can certainly gauge and understand. Of course, one of those challenges at healthcare is reducing the healthcare cost. And when we go from one hospital to another hospital, and if our doctors can look at our health records digitally, then we don't have to do the entire tests from one hospital to another, because you keep on burning some cost to it, right? And this is a major challenge, reducing healthcare costs, because if you actually look at the operational cost of running the hospitals, it is going really low. They are not making money. If you look at, if you look at those operational cost of these hospitals, it's huge. And that's where there are many hospitals coming up with the home care solutions, where they are asking companies, the tech companies, to come forward and build some solutions where home care solutions can be given. The entire setup can be ready outside of your hospitals, and people can given the right care by giving the right monitoring systems. So yeah, I think we all have to play a very important role as a tech companies. I was attending one of the conferences in Delhi, where people said that, these engineers, they learn only engineering, but I think with the engineering, it is very important that the right education on the medical should be given to those engineers, because they are going to connect the dots. They are the people who will help doctors to solve those problems, right? And that's where GeekyAnts is trying to do something, connect the medicine and technology together, right? And I want to share my personal experience also. During Corona, I was expecting my second baby, and to be honest, I never get to meet my doctor personally. He was not willing to meet me. So all my, meeting with my pediatrician happened, gynecologist, happened online. I had to go to hospital, do the scan, upload, which is automatically updated on the system, and then you meet your doctor. So yeah, digitally it's all going, but I'm little concerned about what's happening in the village, what's happening in the rural areas, and we have to build something to help those people. Yes, I think we have just one last question from the audience, and I think any one of you can take it up. The question is, how do we plan to prevent user authentication deficiencies, endpoint leakage, and excessive user permissions and other vulnerabilities? Uh, Again, linked to some data security questions, but any one of you can take it up.
I think we should have strict HIPAA compliance rules, and we should have more security audit checks of the infrastructure of each and every governing body who is into the healthcare industry, right? Because this is purely the leakage which we see. Like, because I have seen a lot of production databases where the people don't even add the normal database username and password security for your databases, right? So this is kind of a leakage which happens from the security tooling. So we should enhance more automated and by default security tools into the infrastructure itself. Like whenever we are deploying any application, right, if we can have like in the AWS itself a good security tooling in place which can say these are the vulnerabilities in your existing application, these mitigations can easily be then sent to the developers or the organization. They can fix them, right? So people has to be educate them like what are the vulnerabilities which can happen in their applications, and if we educate them, then definitely they can fix them. So from my perspective, it's more of a security tooling which you are putting in place when dealing with this kind of uh, data leakage.
And my thought is around basically what you said is right, just security leakage, and then we have to. So basically, what we see today is if you look at any fintech, right, before they launch any fintech app, it has to go under a certain certifications, right? They will actually certify your app, and then then the user is basically confident about it that yes, my data is safe in a safe hand, right? So I think all these apps will go under some sort of certification where they should be able to do the check and balances about the usage of the data and the usage of the permissions. And it's not only at the time of launch. I think periodic audits for the way we do it for a bank, right? Similarly, we should do a periodic audit for this to, to see that if the permissions and the leakage issues and authentication, if what some similar issues can be identified and can be fixed, reported to the concerned team and fix it. So
Correct,
certain
correct.
certifications would help us. Audit checks should help us. Periodic audit checks should help us. Right? Yes, the data is it's about your personal data, your healthcare data. Yes, we have to be very sensitive about it when we are building a solution.
Certainly.
Absolutely, Amit. Like as I mentioned, like we should be having periodic HIPAA compliance checks for all the healthcare industries, right? Whoever into the healthcare industry. If we are following strictly the what HIPAA compliance are saying, then this leakage won't happen because HIPAA is there for to mitigate all these problems itself.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So we have so much of insightful information and so much of uh, understanding around digital healthcare. I mean, that's it from our side. Adrika, over to you.